of all start off with the oil in the kingdom. Because Saudi Arabia is what it is today, not because of anything else, but because of oil. So oil in the kingdom, the state of education, the first private educational institution, and then a little bit about the growth of the university and some of the challenges that are faced by them. Okay. The Eastern Province is probably the most progressive. Now you keep in mind when I say progressive, I mean progressive because in Saudi Arabia things are very, very strict. Education of the kingdom. Your education program here, and I believe your enrollment is, what, 1,300 students? 1,300 students. Okay. There we projected, we started off with the first year with 600 students. And now we're up to about 1,500. Okay? So, but here in Saudi Arabia, education that started off with basically religious schools. And then from there on, it has grown. Education is not compulsory, it's open and free. Free education at the university level. But what makes it different over there, here, do students pay to go to the university? They pay here, okay. In Saudi Arabia, if they go to a government school, the government pays the student for coming. The literacy rate in the kingdom, males is about 84%, females 77, 78%. And I'll just skip past that there. The first university was established in 1957. And since then, we say 50 universities and colleges, but really it isn't exactly that because it's made up of technical schools. These are some of the universities and colleges that have opened. King Saud University was the first one. Just keep in mind, 1957, the very first university in the kingdom. Education in Saudi Arabia is tied to Islamic roots. Now you've got to realize that in Saudi Arabia, everything, their entire life is tied around Islam. So, but a lot of things are attributed to Islam which are really part of their culture. And you've got to keep in mind that, again, in Saudi Arabia, we talk about 70 years ago, there wasn't anything there. It's just sand. In the 70 years, you realize what's happened with this country. They've started their education. They've started, at least they're still building these there. They have lots of money. Most other countries have very little money to start with and have gradually built this up. Here we are. Certain subjects are not available for women because they feel that women, no, medicine is okay for women. Interior design. Business, well, business, they can take business courses, but they don't like them to go into business. Men are permitted to travel to foreign countries. So if women wanted to get an education, they could come here. But you know, if they came here, they'd have to come with their husband or with their an older brother or somebody like that. They could not travel alone and come here. The Saudi government has set as one of its key goals the re-nationalization of its workforce. Now, again, what I've said here is that Saudi has lots of money. Just to give you, and I know that's not in left, but last year they had a surplus of $550 billion. A surplus. This year, they're expecting a deficit of $17 billion, and they said, oh, we're not worried about that. But that is a problem, because how long can they start? Because now you see, we talk about the parents of our young people that are here are sons of the first group that came through, okay? They got educated. Now they've got their children. Their children are the ones that we're educating now. But there aren't enough jobs. The government guarantees, this is it, guarantees everybody who graduates from college will have a job. Now, did you hear that? It guarantees. And so it will make a job up for somebody. And so long as they show up at work, it doesn't matter whether they're late or not. Just show up at work for a little while, then they'll get their pay. So that also breeds a culture, a really bad culture.
الخبر مدينة عريقة وعصرية تمتد على الساحل الشرقي للمملكة العربية السعودية وتطل على الخليج العربي. تقع وسط منطقة نفطية استراتيجية وتعد قلب المنطقة الشرقية النابض بالحركة الاقتصادية النشطة على كافة الصعد: التجارية، الصناعية، الزراعية، العمرانية، الاجتماعية.
The princes. And so we had the official opening of the university in October. And in that time I thought that the speech would all be about higher education and what we're doing for the young people. It had nothing to do with that. It was praise for the prince, praise for the king, and all of that for at least 45 minutes. We had things like that going on. So, on the first day that we started classes, I remember going to the rector's office, and he wanted to know how things were going. And I was sitting there with one of the other directors. We were sitting in his office over there when the telephone call came through. And the telephone call came through from the governor's office. And he says, "I have just received word that both men and women are mixing together. That has to stop immediately." And so he told us, he said, "I want you to go out there and get the women out of this section over here, and I want it done within the next 30 minutes. And that was the separation. In order to get around, they had to go through the lecture hall. So it was sort of like a door was there, and a door was this other side here. So on the women's side, they had a guard there. The police were there to stop anybody any of the women from coming in. And then on the male side, they had another one over here. So to stop the males from coming through. Male teacher, a male professor cannot teach females. The males could teach males, the females could teach females. They're in one building, they're in another building, and my building is in between. The green zone, meaning it will be a place where both male and female faculty and staff could meet, but we meet in the back area. That's in the office area. We have male and female faculty to plan things together, to plan their programs together, and so on. And so we were able to do that, but we're still very careful about it, because if any student comes in the back there and then finds that both male and female are there, then we're likely to get a call, and it could be because they'll let you've got what they call their religious police. The religious police are fairly powerful there. And the religious police, they're the ones who could complain and say, hey, that should not be. This university is the first university in the Eastern Province for education of both male and female. This was a big step that was taken. I did say that it's a business. In the original plan, they would recoup their expenses. They would start making money after the first 5 or 6 years. However, this is a business. Here we are. Prince Mohammed University is the jewel in the sand. It is. I mean, it's really regarded as something really very, very special. Sunset. Oh, here we are. Okay, I was wondering whether that would come up. This is one I took at one sunset just to show you what that is like. And then, of course, we end up with this last thing up here, greetings from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a wonderful, really, it's a wonderful country.